Hello everyone, welcome to a new video of Azahara letters. Today I'm going to show you how to write in a mix of American cursive and italics from A to Z following this calligraphy book by Barbara Calzolari and Alessandro Salice. The first thing is to make the guideline 2:1 ratio, that is 10 mm for ascenders, 5 mm X height and 10 mm for descenders, the same proportions as for Spencerian calligraphy. As for the inclination of the strokes, it will be at an angle of 75 degrees, that is, it only has an inclination of 15 degrees to the right with respect to the vertical line. As for the pen, I am using a Tradio Pentel 0.5 mm needlepoint Energel ink. Let's start in a corner to write the A. It's like drawing an eye or an almond, and it's important to go down the diagonal of the guideline. The letter B is not easy either, up the side, and when it reaches the top, it goes down the diagonal of the guide. It goes back up to this line with a little curve and it comes out horizontally. The letter C is super easy because it is like making the first two strokes of an A. The letter D redraws the eye of the almond, but it has a stem, a diagonal line that, pay attention, doesn't go up to the top, it remains at an intermediate height. Letter E is quite simple, you have to match the diagonal and that's it. The letter F goes up with a sharp curve, goes straight down the diagonal and goes up on the right. The loops have to be narrow, like the one for the letter B. In the G, we repeat the stitch of the A, but with the novelty of the descending loop. In the letter H, we have the same first part of the letter B, but then we add a rather angular bridge. The letter I is very simple, just go down the diagonal line. The letter J is a combination of the I plus the descending G, so there's nothing new. In the letter K we have the first part of the B, and then you make a kind of a tiny capital R or a kind of a bow. In letter L we just have to repeat the same shape again. The letter M is complicated. You have to make the same bridge as in the H, but 3 times. The shape is a bit angular, like an arc that is halfway between being round and ogival. And obviously it's the same for the letter N. In letter O we find again the shapes between round and ogival. It is more like a seed than an almond. In letter P we make an inward stroke, the descending loop, and then a kind of a leaf. There are 2 ways to write the letter Q. The first part is the same in both, like making an A but adding a diagonal downwards. In the second one it changes as there is an outgoing loop going up on the right as in the letter F. There are also 2 ways to make the letter R. In one, you enter with an arc, go up the diagonal and have a slight curved horizontal exit. The second R is more like making a rectangle, but notice that its central part goes down a little diagonally. The letter S is an universe apart. It rises a little above the top line of X height and descends with this graceful curved movement, like half a watermelon seed or a leaf. Attention to letter T. It doesn't go all the way up like B, but it goes up only a little, like letter D. In the letter U, it is important not to make it too round, but to draw it in an angular way. Both the letter V and the letter V are quite angular, so they look closely. The letter X also has this curved entry and makes a curved zigzag. The second stroke is a short diagonal line. The Y has the same shape as the U, angular, and then a descender loop is added, as in letter G or J. You can also make this kind of entry, a different one. The Z can be done in 2 ways. The first is a tiny number 2, the second is a curve a small loop and a descending loop. Now let's take a quick look at the most commonly used symbols such as ampersand or the question mark and exclamation mark. And finally, the numbers. Okay, so much for my tutorial to learn how to write in this mix between American Cursive and Italic. If you like it, thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, hit the little bell and receive notifications. Thank you very much for watching this video and start to practice now!